Hey everyone, we got some big news for ASML stock investors as the company's management team gave insights as to how its recovery is going. So let's get right into the details. Let's look at what's going on inside and how its recovery is shaping.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so ASML management saying as the recovery becomes more clear this year's customer customer may look to upgrade their system in preparation for 2025, and this could provide future business opportunity this year. Our outlook for the full year is unchanged with similar revenue compared to 2023. That's in line with the industry continued recovery from the downturn. We expect a stronger second half. Interesting. So ASML saying that for 2024, they expect things to be very similar to 2023 in terms of revenue. However, they're saying that 2025 is shaping to be really strong. And that's going to start building up at the second half of this year. So it looks like the recovery will begin in the second half of this year, Q3 and Q4, and that'll build into 2025, and 2025 is shaping to be really strong. Let's continue. Companies saying that they view 2024 as a transition year and continue to make investments this year, both in capacity ramp and in technology to be ready for the upturn in the cycle. So 2024, what ASML will be primarily focused on is getting ready for the next upcycle in the semiconductor industry. It's preparing for that boom time. Now, its industry has been cyclical for decades. It understands the ups and downs. It's a cyclical industry. Its customers, its clients build up inventory, build up the capacity to produce inventory during those up cycles, and then during the down cycles the industry kind of goes through the ebbs and flows because mostly it follows the end market of its customers, right? So ASML serves the supply chain mostly, selling to companies like Taiwan Semiconductor and Intel, but the end customers are for electronics, right? Electric vehicles, laptops, smartphones, personal computers, AI servers. And so those investments go in years, right? You think about when you buy a smartphone, you don't replace that smartphone every year, you keep it for several years. You think about an electric vehicle, you don't buy a new electric vehicle every year. When you buy one, you keep it for several years. You think about personal computers. The average life cycle of a personal computer is 4 to 6 years. So you get the point. The semiconductor industry goes through those cycles where there's a large increase in sales, and then as consumers use up those products that they purchased, it goes through a down cycle. Sometimes it follows the same up and down cycle of the macro economy at large, and sometimes it doesn't. It goes on a different cycle. But it's because the end market for these products, where the semiconductors ultimately go into, are long-lasting goods that last several years for the most part. So moving on, based on their discussions with their customers and supporting their strong backlog, they expect 2025 to be a strong year, driven by a number of factors as mentioned in the previous quarter. So one of those factors, of course, is the rising effectiveness of artificial intelligence based on large language models and the growing demand for companies to implement AI. That's helping ASML because their clients, like Taiwan Semiconductor, are increasing capacity. Even Intel wants to get into the game, buying one of ASML's or some of ASML's products now because they want to get into the fabrication business as well. So 2025 shaping to be a strong year for ASML. So the industry expects to be in the middle of a cyclical upturn in 2025. The middle of a cyclical upturn, that means there's going to be several years more of upturn even after 2025. So not only is ASML saying that 2025 will be strong, but it's also saying that the cyclical upturn will just be in the middle innings. Therefore, there could be a couple of more years of strong results for ASML. They need to prepare for the significant number of new fabs that are being built across the globe. Taiwan Semiconductor, for instance, has said it's expanding its manufacturing capacity not only in Taiwan, but it's adding new facilities in Japan, adding new facilities in the US, in Arizona. And so ASML needs to prepare for that expansion across the globe. And most notably, it's clearly supported by several government incentive plans. In the US in particular, the government announced an over $50 billion package to enhance the production of domestic semiconductors, to enhance the domestic semiconductor industry, trying to onshore or nearshore some of that capacity, right? The US was not happy that so much semiconductor production is happening outside of its borders, and now it sees it as a strategic imperative, a national security imperative, to bring on to domestic shores some of that manufacturing capacity, and they're willing to spend more than $50 billion of taxpayer money to facilitate that increase in domestic production. So I can share with you here ASML's longer term. I have here the last 10 years, and you can see revenue in the purple, ebbing and flowing, right? First, if we look at 2015 to 2017, you can see that downturn there, and then a rebound, and then another slowdown around 2019, and then a big boom here from 2019 to 2022, and then another slowdown, and now another upturn here, and then a brief slowdown, and ASML saying that 2024 will be a flat year, and then 2025 will be that next upturn, that upwave that they experience to continue for several years. And you could see its operating profit margin also fluctuating based on that, but over the longer term, moving higher and higher and higher. So even through these up and down cycles, over the longer term, ASML improving the business, improving the profitability of the business, demonstrating economies and scale for certain. You can see that its operating profit margin was around 22% in 2015. That's now up to 31.52% in the most recently updated quarter, trailing 12-month period, I should say. And I wouldn't be surprised if during this next upturn, its operating profit margin rebounds back above this 34% level it hit in 2022 because of the economies in scale that ASML has demonstrated. Now, ASML is trading at a forward price to earnings of 27.59. The stock is fairly valued. It's not cheap and it's not expensive according to its prospects over the next 5 years. And I had rated ASML stock as a buy following its earnings results on April 17th. And I can here reiterate this recommendation on April 19th, reiterating that I think ASML stock is a buy for the next several years. I think the company has solid prospects. The market share, the technology, it's at least one step ahead, and it can demand premium prices because of how ahead it is in the technology. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.